Hey everyone. Ready to really get into TikTok live streaming from your Android phone?
I'm ready.
Sweet. So we've got a really cool episode of the SocialWick podcast as our guide,
Mm,
and they actually had some awesome advice for how to really just build a strong presence online.
right.
But specifically, we're going to try to use their advice to make sure that you are ready to go live on TikTok.
Awesome.
All right, so first things first. SocialWick really focused on making sure that you check your account to see if it meets TikTok's requirements before you even try to go live.
Right.
Yeah, so did any of their advice stand out to you?
Definitely.
Oh, okay, what was it?
Um, well, one thing they said that I think would surprise people is that you actually need at least 1,000 followers to go live.
Whoa, 1,000. That's a lot more than I thought.
I know, right? But it kind of makes sense.
Yeah?
TikTok wants to make sure that you already have at least a small audience
Okay. Yeah,
who's interested in what you have to say.
I gotcha. Yeah, no point in going live to an empty room.
Exactly.
Makes total sense.
Yep.
And of course, you got to follow the community guidelines, you know?
Yeah.
What's your take on those?
Well, I think of them as like the rule book for keeping TikTok a fun and safe space for everybody.
Okay.
So basically, it's about avoiding hate speech and harassment and inappropriate content,
Yeah.
keeping things positive and respectful.
Got it. Okay, so you're saying it's not just about getting followers, it's also about building a community where everyone feels good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, so once we've checked those boxes off the list,
Right.
it's time to get our Android device ready for its live streaming debut.
Yeah, let's get that phone ready.
All right, so it's phone prep time. Hit me with those essentials.
Hmm.
What did SocialWick recommend?
They highlighted some must-dos,
Yeah.
But instead of just saying update your TikTok app, I think it's good to really dig into why that's so important.
Okay. Yeah, tell me more.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
App updates are kind of like tune-ups for your phone, right?
Okay.
So they often come with performance boosts.
Right.
That'll make your live stream run smoother.
Okay.
Plus, they squash those annoying bugs that can cause crashes or glitches.
Yeah.
And nobody wants their live stream to freeze in the middle of a good moment.
Oh, for sure. A frozen screen is a total vibe killer.
Right.
Yeah. So updates are good.
Yeah,
They help everything run smoother.
definitely.
Okay, what else should we be thinking about?
Next up is your internet connection.
Ooh.
Now, we all know that a stable connection is important for a good live stream. But SocialWick shared a trick I hadn't heard before.
Ooh, a pro tip. Tell me more.
They recommended doing a speed test on your internet connection before going live.
Oh,
That way, you can make sure that your upload speed is strong enough to handle the live video.
okay.
If it's not, you might need to find a spot with a stronger signal, or maybe even consider switching to a different network temporarily.
That's a good point because I have definitely had the frustration of a live stream buffering, because of a weak connection. And it's like watching a slideshow instead of a video. It's not fun.
And it's not just frustrating for you as the streamer, it's a bummer for your viewers too.
Yeah, they're going to click away.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so updates and internet speed check and check.
Yep.
What about gear, though? I'm guessing audio and video quality is really important.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
SocialWick talked about investing in some basic audio and video gear, but they said you don't have to spend a ton of money.
Okay, good.
They actually recommended a simple lavalier microphone for clearer audio.
Yeah.
And you know what? I tested it out myself,
Really?
and it made a huge difference.
Wow.
The sound was so much crisper than just using my phone's built-in mic.
Wait, you tried it yourself? That's dedication.
I'm all about putting these tips to the test.
Wow.
And honestly, the difference was big. Even just getting rid of that background noise
Yeah.
made the audio sound so much more professional.
Makes sense.
And then as far as video goes, just a simple tripod to keep your phone steady can be a game changer.
Yeah, no more shaky footage. So you're saying good audio and stable video are super important, but we don't need to go all out and buy a fancy studio setup.
Right. A few simple, budget-friendly upgrades can really improve your live stream.
Got it. And don't forget about lighting in the background.
Oh, yeah. Those are key, too.
Right.
It's like setting the stage for a performance.
Exactly. And that's something that SocialWick really talked about, too.
Yeah. They went into a lot of detail about different types of lighting. You can use natural light versus artificial light and how to soften harsh lighting and how important it is to avoid shadows.
Hmm.
They also talked about using a backdrop or finding a spot in your house that has a clean, visually appealing background.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too distracting.
I see a theme here. It's all about making sure that the viewer has a good experience that's engaging and looks professional.
Exactly.
Even though we're just streaming from our phones.
Right. It's those little things that show your audience that you care about your content.
I'm sold. All right, so we've got our phone all prepped. Our internet is super fast, and we've even got a cool new microphone.
Awesome.
Now, how do we actually go live? Walk me through it.
Well, TikTok has made the process super straightforward.
Okay.
But before you hit that go live button, there are a few things you need to do. Think about it like this. You're about to step onto a virtual stage, right?
Okay.
And you want to make sure that your headline act is enticing enough to draw a crowd.
Got it.
In other words, you need a really captivating title for your live stream.
Oh, yeah, the title. That's important. I've definitely clicked on live streams just because the title sounded interesting.
Exactly. It's all about sparking that curiosity.
Right.
And creating that anticipation.
Yeah.
And speaking of creating a buzz, this is where those TikTok filters and effects come in.
Oh, yeah. I love playing around with all the filters and effects on TikTok. They can definitely add a lot of personality.
Yeah. But here's a pro tip from SocialWick.
Okay.
Don't go too crazy with the filters and effects during a live stream.
Good point. Too much of a good thing can be too much.
Right. So what they recommend is choosing filters and effects that enhance your content.
Okay.
Instead of distracting from it.
Got it.
It's like choosing the right outfit for a performance.
Okay.
You want something that complements your style and the overall vibe you're going for.
It's like a subtle filter that makes the lighting look better.
Right.
Or adds a fun border, but nothing too crazy,
Exactly.
That takes away from what I'm talking about.
And another tip they had was to preview your filters and effects beforehand.
Oh, that's smart.
To make sure they look good on camera and don't cause any weird glitches.
Yeah, I've totally had those moments where I've applied a filter and I'm like, wait, why does my face look like that?
Right.
That's not the first impression I want to make.
Definitely not. Okay, so once you've got your title filters and effects all set, you're ready for the big moment.
It's showtime.
Hitting that go live button.
Any last-minute advice before we go live?
Yeah. SocialWick had a great point about the importance of planning, but not in the way you might think.
Okay.
They weren't talking about scripting out every single word of your live stream.
So no need to memorize a monologue.
Nope. They just stressed the importance of having a general outline or at least some key talking points in mind.
Okay.
So that way your live stream has some structure and flow and you're less likely to go off on a tangent or forget what you wanted to share.
So it's more like having a roadmap for my live stream.
Right.
Making sure I hit all the main points.
Think of it like having a mental checklist.
Okay.
Of all the topics you want to cover, any questions you want to answer, or maybe any activities you want to do.
Got it.
It just helps keep you organized and on track.
That makes a lot of sense. Having a plan of attack, but still being able to be spontaneous and interact with people.
Well, right, because remember, a successful live stream is more than just talking to the camera.
Yeah.
It's about making a connection with your viewers.
Right.
Making them feel like they're part of something.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make our live streams super engaging and interactive?
Well, first of all, just remember that you're talking to real people, on the other side of the screen. So acknowledge them.
Like saying hello and welcoming them to the live stream.
Exactly. And don't just read their comments, respond to them.
Okay.
Have conversations, answer their questions, make them feel seen and heard.
That's a good point. When I think about the live streamers that I watch, who I think are really engaging, that they're really good at making me feel like I'm part of a community.
Right.
Like we're all just hanging out online.
Yeah, that's the magic of live streaming. It breaks down those barriers between the creator and the audience and allows for that real-time connection.
Okay.
And TikTok actually has some really cool tools you can use to make your live stream even more interactive.
Yeah, those are so cool. I've seen people using polls to get people's opinions on things.
Yeah.
And I've even participated in a few Q&A sessions where they're answering questions.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Those are just a couple of examples of how you can use those features to really make your live streams fun and engaging.
So it's not just about me talking at the audience. It's about having a conversation with them.
You got it. And here's another interesting thing. SocialWick shared a really cool strategy for using TikTok's Q&A box to maximize engagement.
Ooh, a Q&A strategy. Tell me more.
So instead of just answering random questions from the chat, they recommend having a specific time in your live stream that's dedicated to Q&A.
I like that.
Right.
It makes it feel more organized.
Exactly. And here's the key. Before you go live, post on your TikTok profile and ask your followers to send you questions beforehand.
That's really smart because then you can kind of get those questions and even choose the ones that fit with what you're talking about.
Exactly. Right. It generates that buzz beforehand.
Yeah.
It gives your audience time to think of good questions.
Yeah.
And it helps you stay on topic during that Q&A.
That's brilliant. Okay, so this is all great advice. I feel a lot more confident about going live now.
Awesome.
But what happens if things don't go as planned? What if the internet cuts out or something weird happens during the live stream?
Well, even the most experienced live streamers have things happen sometimes.
Yeah.
The key is to be prepared and know how to troubleshoot any problems that might come up.
Troubleshooting. Yeah, that's a good point. I've definitely seen those live streams where the internet cuts out or the app starts acting up, and it can be really distracting.
Yeah.
So what did SocialWick have to say about handling those types of situations?
Well, they said that things happen, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about staying calm and finding a solution.
Right.
So one common problem is connectivity issues.
Yeah.
Even a short internet dropout can really mess up a live stream.
Ugh, tell me about it. I once had my Wi-Fi completely die, like right in the middle of a live stream, and it was so frustrating.
Oh, no.
So what did you do?
Well, the first thing is to just tell your viewers what's going on. Let them know you know about the problem and that you're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Transparency is key.
Okay.
And then try those basic troubleshooting steps like restarting your router, checking your internet speed, or even switching to mobile data if you can.
It's like that classic tech advice, turn it off and on again.
Exactly.
Sometimes those are the things that work the best.
Right. And if the problem keeps happening, don't be afraid to just end the live stream and reschedule.
Okay.
It's better to have a shorter live stream that runs smoothly than a longer one that's full of problems.
Totally. It's all about quality over quantity.
Exactly. Now, another thing SocialWick mentioned was what to do if the app itself isn't working.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like if it starts to lag or freeze up or even crashes.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely had that happen before. It's like my phone just decided to take a nap.
Right. Not helpful.
Not helpful at all in the middle of a live stream.
So SocialWick had a tip for how to prevent that. They said to close all the other apps on your phone before you go live.
Okay.
That way, TikTok has all the processing power it needs.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right. It's like giving TikTok its own lane on the highway.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if the app does start acting up, you can always try closing it and opening it again.
Mm.
It sounds too simple, but it can actually fix those little glitches.
Yeah, it's like hitting the reset button.
Right. And of course, it's important to make sure you're keeping your TikTok app updated.
Yeah, definitely.
Those updates usually have performance improvements and bug fixes that can make a big difference.
They're like vitamins for your phone.
Right. They keep everything healthy and running the way it should.
Okay. I like that. And we can't forget about following the community guidelines during our live stream.
Oh, yeah. Those are important.
Right. Like we talked about before. They're there to make sure that it's a safe and respectful environment for everyone.
Exactly. And they can also help you avoid any interruptions. During your live stream, like TikTok actually has algorithms that are looking for copyrighted music.
Oh, wow.
So if you're playing music in the background that you don't have the rights to your live stream, could get flagged.
Wow.
And they could even take it down.
That's serious.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, being respectful. It's also about protecting my content.
Right.
So how do I stay updated on all of those guidelines?
Well, TikTok has a help center. That's a good resource.
Okay.
And they keep those guidelines updated there.
Perfect.
So you can always check if you have any questions.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of ground today, from prepping our phones and troubleshooting any technical issues to mastering that art of engagement. I feel like I just went to TikTok live streaming school.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
We really broke down all those insights from SocialWick and turned them into really usable advice.
Yeah. And I think our listeners are ready to hit that go live button.
I think so too.
They've got the tools, the knowledge, everything they need.
Yep. They're ready to create amazing and engaging live streams.
Speaking of success, any final thoughts for our listeners as they get started?
Yeah, just remember that it's important to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People can tell when you're being genuine, so don't be afraid to let your personality and your unique perspective come through.
I love that, it's not about trying to be someone you're not. It's about sharing your passions.
Right.
And connecting with people who are into the same things as you.
Exactly. And remember, everyone was a beginner once, so don't be afraid to just try things out, learn and grow as you figure out the world of TikTok live streaming.
There you have it. Your deep dive into TikTok live streaming from your Android device. We went over all the basics, the tech tips, the strategies, and even how to fix any problems.
Now it's your turn to go create, connect, and have fun.
See you next time.